We are here with Andrew and James, and they are actors that are going around and talking about the Civil War and the
World War II.
World War II.
We also have one doing the French fur trading.
Okay, we'll have to catch him.
He'll be around on that side.
Okay.
When you go
and
through.
so we'll start with you since you're earlier.
Sure. So I'm portraying a member of the 7th Tennessee, Company C, U.S. Cavalry, which actually was formed out of West Tennessee. A lot of people are aware that even within the Confederate States, there were several who were still loyal to the United States. And in Western Kentucky, there was actually a 7th Tennessee U.S. and a 7th Tennessee CS. Both of them met right here in Union City, Tennessee, near the end of the war. And the commander of the 7th Tennessee Confederate was Nathan Bedford Forrest. And they managed to convince the commander of the fort. There's a fortification. Nobody knows exactly where the location is in Union City. But there was a fortification here. And Forrest attacked and managed to convince them that they were outnumbered. And so the Union 7th surrendered to the 7th Tennessee CS here. Most of them were shipped off to Andersonville, which many people probably have heard the name of Andersonville as far as Confederate prisons. And when the war was over, most of the regiment was on the USS Sultana, which exploded just about 15-20 miles north of Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
So most of the regiment was lost during that incident. So I'm dressed in traditional U.S. Civil War gear, and the weapon that I have is this is a 54 caliber Sharps carbine. And the one thing that a lot of people are familiar with, if you've ever seen the Civil War movies and how the infantry loads, they bite the cartridge, they pour it in, they ram it.
Yeah.
Well, with the Sharps, this has actually what's known as a breech. And so I would put the cartridge in here, and right there you can kind of see the silver part of the razor there. And that actually cuts the cartridge for me.
Oh.
And then all I have to do is prime it, and I'm ready to shoot.
Technology's a beautiful thing when it works.
Technology is a beautiful thing when it works. It is also, these also had a more tendency to misfire than just a regular smoothbore would. So, let's see. I actually, for our unit, I am an officer. I'm the captain of our unit. So I also have my messenger satchel. And then I have the rest of it is gear that you would see on any cavalryman. So I have... I didn't know they were trying to flashlight. Sorry, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So on this side we have this is our cap box, and of course during the Civil War, weapons had progressed. I promise there's some in here. There it is. They had progressed to a percussion cap.
Oh, wow.
And so on the inside, which I don't know you'll be able to see it with the camera, but on the inside, underneath this paper here, is a small amount of black powder. So when your hammer hits that, it ignites that powder. It goes through the cone of the weapon, and then into the powder that just got exposed by that breech, right?
Right.
And that's what sends the projectile through the barrel.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure, please.
You were talking about about Forrest taking over Union City and stuff. Was all that part of when they came through Dyer and Kenton and?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He was responsible for trying to get the supplies that were being shipped from here south. So that's what his main goal was, to take the supplies.
Okay, so along the way he destroyed the Mobile and Ohio Railroad.
Correct.
Yes, we actually covered that part of history.
Okay.
And so when you were mentioning the Union City and him going through, I was like, ding, 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 ding,
Yep,
ding.
exactly. It all connected to each other.
It all connected to each other.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So do you have any other questions?
No, we're going to
Go to World War II.
We're going to go to World War II now with Andrew.
So, I'm portraying the Polish partisan on the Eastern Front. Our group, we do switch up occasionally and do French and Polish, depending on what side we're fighting on. As a Polish partisan, you'll see me in what is traditional clothing for that time. Nothing too crazy. It's kind of just what a normal person would wear during that time period. And as for the gear, it would be a mix of Russian and German, Polish, whatever they could get their hands on to fight, because they were very much using what they could get. It's so like this right here is a Russian PPS-43 submachine gun, and then on me I have also got several different handguns here. We've got the Walter PPK, which would be German, and I think I'm bringing the Walter P38. Took me a second. Also German. I'm so sorry.
I'm glad that wasn't loaded.
Oh yeah, no, these are all blanks. These two are blank only. This one can be loaded with live. A little bit hard to load it back. There we go. And yep. These grenades here. If I can get it undone. A little bit hard.
Oh wow, those are old grenades.
These are the Russian type of grenades, and on them, typically you would see them just kind of like this, where it'd be a percussion grenade, mostly used to daze and confuse, whereas they would provide the shrapnel casing, and these were designed to blow apart and fragment for maximum damage against people.
They're sort of like the pineapple grenade that we think of now, that blows apart.
Yep, the Americans had fragmentation grenades, and the Germans and Russians actually had a very similar style together of the stick grenades that came from World War I that did not have that fragmentation, so which is why instead of designing a whole new grenade, they just decided that they could slide over the top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, did your side win? Did your side win?
Yes, they did. They eventually did. A lot of hard fighting. First, they got attacked by the Russians at the very early stage of the war, and then immediately after, the Germans came in right after. So they were a very war-torn nation, very rugged but strong people, and they stuck through it throughout the war, and they made it.
So what years did your war go through?
Ooh, I believe it was 1939 through 1945, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not quoting me on that. I am terrible with the dates.
I think that you're correct on that, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
If not, it was very rough. Like I said,
it's rough around that.
Yeah, the Russians did invade. I think maybe even earlier than that. But
so your unit fought against the Russians.
Yep. Well, they both actually, because like I said, early stages they just were on their own, and then Russians came through first, fought them off. But then when the Germans came through, they didn't side with them to fight the Germans. They didn't want them either, so they fought the Germans too. They just wanted to be their own country and survive, really, because they didn't want influence from either side.
So after the war, did your country become a country, or did it stay a country?
It stayed a country, yep, Poland. And there you can see that's where a lot of the more famous concentration camps were, like Auschwitz and all that.
Now, my husband's family, we are Sergents.
Okay.
And Sergent is actually a Polish-Jewish name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're very interesting to me.
Oh, thank you. I wish I knew more. I wish I was more factual. A lot of times I show up and I just talk about kind of the gear and all that. So I'm not the best with dates and all that, but and we do a very wide range as a group, so it's hard to keep up with everything.
Oh, yeah. But it's very nice to meet you, and thank
Very
you
nice to meet
so
you, too.
much, Andrew.
Thank you.